I'm here with an H2O Epoxy Pro Lite canoe. We want to unpack what that Epoxy Pro Lite is all about, how it compares to their brute force layup, and any different boats that are available on the market. What it comes down to is if you're looking for the lightest, most durable canoe available, this would be your option, H2O's Epoxy Pro Lite canoe. Why would I say that? With an epoxy canoe, it's going to be lighter than a gel-coated canoe. H2O also makes gel-coated canoes. You can see one here in the background. They're great canoes, beautiful as well. But the epoxy is lighter than gel coat. It has a little bit more flex to it, so if you come in contact with rocks, you're going to scratch over it just like a gel-coated boat, but you're not going to have the same spider cracking effect, which also makes it easier to repair. So some benefits of epoxy for sure, and H2O has been making epoxy canoes for the past 11 years, and they've perfected their system, which is pretty impressive. They've taken a lot of their marathon racing canoes and that technology and put it into the recreational series of canoes that they make. So if you're going with the Pro Lite, Epoxy Pro Lite canoe, it's going to be focused on saving weight and still being a very durable boat. And the way that they save their weight in the Pro Lite version versus their brute force version of their canoes is through an integrated gunnel system. So this is a foam core gunnel wrapped in carbon. That's one piece with the canoe. When it comes out of the mold, it's one piece, which makes the canoe more rigid and more efficient when you're paddling it through the water compared to in their brute force, the aluminum gunnels put on to the canoe after it comes out of the mold. So that's one way that they save some weight. The other huge way that they're saving weight in this canoe, they have a diamond-shaped foam core that gives rigidity and flotation to the canoe, and then they're using foam core ribbing as well. In the Pro Lite, they use the foam core ribbing. In the brute force, they use Kevlar ribbing, an extra sheet of Kevlar in strategic areas in the canoe to give it that structure and rigidity. The last area of weight savings that you're going to have with Pro Lite versus the brute force is they have a more streamlined float tank. So it's a little bit smaller, still does the job that it needs to do, but it's a little bit more streamlined and is saving some weight there. These boats can get down to 36, 37, 38 pounds, depending on what you choose. If you choose a color option, that does add some weight, but depending on the materials and the colors you go with and the options in the boat, you can have that boat below 40 pounds for sure. So we brought down an H2O brute force canoe to give you a direct comparison to the Pro Lite. As I was mentioning, the main difference is you're going to now have an aluminum gunnel system on the brute force compared to the integrated gunnel system. You're going to have Kevlar ribbing section, so it's an extra layer of Kevlar put in there as a ribbing section. You still have your diamond-shaped foam core, but on the sides, if you remember in the Pro Lite, you would have a foam ribbing system. Here you have Kevlar, which is common among manufacturers. And then you have a slightly larger float tank as well in the brute force. In both the Pro Lite and the brute force, there is a sheet of fiberglass, which is pretty impressive. You have 3 layers of material in these canoes. And in the Pro Lites, you're going to have a slightly lighter weighted fiberglass. In the brute force, it's going to be a little bit of a heavier weighted fiberglass. So if you're looking for a more robust canoe, you're going to want to go with the brute force. If you want to save a few $100s as well, the brute force would be good. It's about a $500 difference. If your main goal is to save weight, you'll jump into that Pro Lite series. If you'd like to learn more or you're interested in an H2O canoe, get in touch with us at info@organicboatshop.com or check us out on our website.